Hello, this is Mary. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope everyone is doing well today. It's a Saturday afternoon, and I have been a little missing in action, and I will off and on for the next several weeks be that way, but I'm going to plug along and hopefully pick up some people along the way who will be with me for the long haul. I hope you're all doing well. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Today is kind of a craft with me, kind of a miscellaneous day, but I wanted to start off by emphasizing what a wonderful community we have here in the junk journal community. I received in my mailbox these items from a fellow YouTuber who knew that I didn't have the little mini stapler, and she gifted it to me. And so for that, Rita, I say thank you very, very much. I haven't had the opportunity to use it a whole lot, although I have started a snippet, which I just took a piece of a craft paper bag and some miscellaneous papers that I had and a number, and I've got a staple there. I'm sure it's too dark for you to see that, but I've got the little mini staple in there to hold it all together, and I'm just going to take a little piece of paper that I cut out, and I'm going to Fabri-Tac it on top of this glue. Fabri-Tac it on top of this lace, and hopefully I'll be able to make many more things in the coming years and months, weeks with the stapler. I know I've often not used a stapler because I just had the big one that I thought was a little much for most things. And then I actually received something in an Etsy order that had been stapled with the Holtz stapler, the mini stapler, and I was surprised, totally surprised at how cute it was and how much I really, really did want one. I just hadn't made the time to get it before she was able to sneak it in my mailbox. So for that, I say thank you. And this is the first of many things that are going to be made using my Tim Holtz mini stapler. So that being said, we're going to move ahead to what I was working on of late, and that is kind of a modification of the, I'm trying not to say a modification of the pocket that Rachel and Roxy Creations made a little while ago. And so with that, the more I try not to say it, the more I say it, I think. What I've done is I've taken pages. I have this New York Public Library desk reference guide, and I've taken pages out of it. A lot of the pages are, they're a nice size page, which is why I got it. And the pages measure about, let's see, 9 3/4, a little bit less than that. So we'll say 9 5/8 by 7 1/2. So the way that these pockets are made is you fold down the top piece as you would like. Actually, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller than that because I want to keep that first line of writing on the other side. So if I line it up here on the edge and then squish it down the long way, I've got the top edge of my lip. And then for the bottom, you want to come up, and you don't want to go all the way to the top. You want to leave a little bit of an area that you can, you see in one of my prototypes, you have a little bit of an area here that you can put the card in and out of fairly easily. So I've left maybe a 1/2 inch at the top, and I've got it level at this end. I'm going to squish it down. Now this part right here does require, as far as I'm concerned, a scoreboard. Because what you want to do is, I found it interesting not to just fold it directly in half, but to have it, be somewhere less than halfway folded. So as I said, this measures a little over 9 1/2. Half of 9 1/2 would be 4 1/4. So I'm going to score it at, let's see, 5 1/8. And then just one peg over 5 2/8 or 5 1/4. So that's giving me simply 1/8 of an inch little fold room there, if you will, like a spine for this little insert. And so I'm folding that straight, and I'm folding this one straight over on the line. And if you've done it correctly, everything should line up top and bottom. whether you're scoring on this line or scoring on the other line. So here is the first crease, and here is second crease. Quarter of an inch, or an eighth of an inch away, excuse me. And again, everything should line up fairly even. They're going to be on, unless you were to put it in your center, which if you put it in the center, I don't think you would really need this eighth of an inch. But it looks to me like where I'm not even is on this top fold. Something is amiss. So I'm going to just straighten that out and now fold it over. But like I said, because they're going to be on opposite sides of your signature, it doesn't really matter too much if you're off. Like this doesn't quite meet up now down here on the bottom. Let's see. I try and make it meet there. Take it over there. Let's see if that makes it a little bit better. It does. So there we go. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is get your trusty scissors out and just cut out this little eighth of an inch sliver that's on the top of your fold. So after that's done, open it up. If you want them to match pretty nicely, match the side seams and take a sliver off for the envelope to fold down. Okay. Do the same thing on the other side. Fold it in half roughly. Fold this side in half. And take a little sliver off of that side. And what that gives us is an envelope that isn't going to tear. All right, so the next thing I think I'm going to do is take some distress ink and go ahead and ink up. This one I'm using now is Walnut Stain, which is darker than the Vintage Photo. It's just what I have out, so it's what I'm going to use on this. You need to attack all the sides with the brush pretty heavily, because you're probably not going to come all the way to the edge with your papers. So my mom has been in the hospital of late. She's actually been released to physical rehabilitation, and it's all good. My sister is actually an occupational therapist at the center that she's going to be discharged to. So my sister, although she won't take her on as a client, you know, she won't be my mom won't be her patient. She'll be there with her during the day, and I think it gives my mom some level of comfort, because she's been in and out of the hospital a number of times over the past little bit, and it's all related to falls. And it's because, I think the falls are because she refused in the past, after being discharged, to go to physical therapy, because several years back she had a horrible experience in physical therapy, or at a rehab facility, and she just doesn't want, you know, she just refuses it. You know, she is known to say, I will not go to physical therapy or to rehab. And instead she insists that they send people to her house to do her physical therapy for her. Well, my mom, at the age of almost 88, refuses to do the therapy when the therapists aren't there. And so, because they're only there for like 50 minutes during a day, she only gets 50 minutes a couple times a week of physical therapy, and she's never had her strength back. I think a lot of the strength decline had to do with COVID, because her facility, she's living in an independent living apartment in a gated retirement community, and she loves it there. She loves all of her friends, and she loves all of the activities that they have going on there, and she hasn't been happier in a long time, but she really hates the rehab. But I think because of COVID and the fact that she was just sitting idly by for a year and a half and really wasn't doing anything to get into any kind of trouble, and when I say trouble, I mean, you know, have a fall, so there was really no opportunity for her to fall for, you know, a year and a half. And now, since then, she's been to North Carolina to a wedding. She's been to St. Petersburg to a wedding. And each of those trips were less than a month apart, or about a month apart. And she just never really recovered, you know, from, she didn't have her strength back. And then she went on these extended little mini trips to be with family and friends, which is understandable. And as a consequence, she fell. And she hasn't even admitted to us exactly how many times she's fallen. But at any rate, we do know that she has fallen, and we do know that she needs to go to physical therapy. So I'm glad that she is finally agreeing, albeit not eager to go, but agreeing to go. I mean, who would be eager to go to physical therapy or to rehab therapy? I don't know. I don't think anyone would. But she does know that it is important to her children that she do it, because we don't want her to fall again. She's taken too many falls over the last little bit of time, and it hasn't been good. So that being said, what I'm doing now is I'm just cutting some paper scraps that I have. I had some old dictionary page here, and I'm cutting them to, or tearing them to about the size that I need to cover up the journal, or the front flap rather. So let's see. And this paper is so fragile and so brittle that I am not going to do anything except for glue it on. I'm not going to ink around the edges of it. And I think I probably inked enough here. I don't know. I say that as I pick up my sponge and start inking a little bit more. So I'm just going to outright glue this down with glue stick. And hope for a good result. Hope I don't tear the paper in any way, because it is as brittle as can be. So that I'm going to glue this down right here. And just press on it. And I don't want to take a chance on ripping the paper. So I'm just doing it gently. And I'm going to pause and go ahead and pre-cut some little pieces. I won't completely pre-cut them, but I'll pull some pieces out of my scrap so you don't have to watch me do that. To cover, what we're going to do is we're going to cover this little strip here, this little strip here, this back strip, and then the back side. Okay, and you can leave the back side open for journaling, like just put some coffee paper on it, coffee dyed paper, which is what I think I'm going to do on both sides of this. And my prototypes, I only did it on one side of one, and that's the only journaling space other than the cards I've put in. The other one, I have the dictionary page and some other pieces put in, and this one hasn't been glued down yet. So here we go. I'll be back when I have some pieces together. Hi, it's Mary. I'm back again. I'm still working on these double pockets that will fit into a signature. And I've gone through and found some papers that I want to use to complete this project. So the first thing I want to do is use my glue stick to attach this copy dyed paper to the back as potential writing space in the journal. Applying a, oops, I'm not on screen at all. Where am I supposed to be to go? Oh, I don't know if I'm on screen or not. That's right. I hope I'm on screen. I'm just going to put this down to the bottom, and then using a dry cloth, I'm going to go ahead and rub this out, hopefully getting any bubbles. And since it's not all that fragile a paper, it's just regular copy paper, I'm going to go ahead and use my credit card, my plastic card, to smooth everything out. Now on the front side, what I've done is I cut this one piece of paper into 3 sections. I've got it here to go here, and then a matching piece to go right there. And if you'll notice, everything lines up, and the third piece to come up here. So then in looking at it, it's the whole picture if there's no journal card in there. So again, we're just going to apply our glue stick so that the paper is well adhered, lining it up at the bottom and at the middle seam. Oops, I got a little bit off there. Most important is the line at the bottom. Not to say the other ones aren't important, but that's the one that will mess everything above it off if you get the bottom line wrong. Looks like I kind of messed up a little bit there on the side. I'm going to have to apply some more. Oops. I've gone a little heavy on that. Apply some more of this to that area right in there. Get rid of that white. You know, this I went ahead and covered with a little bit of the top part of this paper that didn't really have much to do with it, because I didn't want, because this is only going down to where the envelope starts. I don't want it to, I didn't want to take the chance of seeing the printed paper on the back. And so now I'm going to come in and I'm going to line this up to where those meet and those meet. Pressing down firmly with my finger. I'm not going to make the mistake of going in with the glue stick just yet. Or not the glue stick, but the ink. Then I've got this last piece for the top. Applying a generous amount of glue stick to the back. And I'm going to fit it in to where it matches up with what's on the piece below it. So that in total we have a picture that is kind of cohesive. You don't have to do this. This was just an easy way of, in my mind, of collaging it without having to do a lot of, you know, mismatching pieces. So with this, I now have to apply to the back this piece here that I cut off, and I haven't actually looked at it. Yeah, that'll go fine with that. So I need to find a part of my glue book that is free of glue. Apply glue stick to this outer piece and place it down. This is all copy paper, and it's, you know, fairly big strips, so I feel pretty comfortable going in with the credit card and mashing it down. I'm going to have to even things out. I'm going to wait for it to dry a little bit. So that's this side. Now we're going to go over here to the other side. And I've got another set of coffee dyed paper. That is ready. Oops, I goopered up my glue, as they say. Got a big chunk of it off. So, is this? My glue stick well to all of that. And this time I'm going to be real careful lining it up with the edge here and with the bottom. And there we go. Now, for this piece, I'd already glued this old dictionary page to the front, and so I went and all I did was find some newer dictionary page, that completely different tone, and I've applied it there. I think I might want to add a little bit more of this ink to it. I'm not screwing that. Because it looks a little blue. It still looks a little blue, but hopefully after I decorate it, it won't. Okay, so now we're going to apply glue stick to the back. We're going to line it up with the top and smooth it out. There we go. All right, and then I have this other piece, and I think I need to apply a little bit more color to it as well. This is from a paperback dictionary that was probably from the 80s. I don't know. It's all stuff I got at a thrift shop. Okay. Got that lined up at the bottom. Folding it over. I now have the top piece. This is actually the piece that went up here to this that I'm putting on the other. Now these are going to be separated by pages in the book, so there should be no problem with anything looking repetitive or looking too repetitive. Obviously, I've taken the repetitive route in decorating this in that I've got dictionary page and I've got the one floral page that I cut into sections. So this gets lined up at the top here and on the sides. I'm using a cloth because it has some glue on the outside. And try to get the glue off of the outside piece. Don't need these paper clips anymore. I can put them back in my paper clip container. And right now I'm just trying to remove the excess glue. When I was gluing this on my glue page, oh no, when I was gluing it on my glue page, I inadvertently got glue on it. So this is the beginnings of how our bifold envelope is looking. Now we have to go through and trim up where things don't exactly meet, which includes that. It's a little bit down the side. And that's it on this side. Okay, now what do we have going on over here? Let's check this top. Okay, the top needs to be trimmed on this side a little bit. Be careful not to cut the fold, because that would make a hole in your envelope. And it looks like I've got a little bit of a doubled over fold here, which I'm going to handle with a magic bullet of art glitter glue. This dries fast and holds strong. So I'll just get rid of these little extra pieces I cut off. So now a little bit more across right there to cut. Right there. And I'll leave that open and not fold it over until that part gets dried. Over here, I have a little bit of extra, or excess, I should say, over here on this side. And that looks like about it. It's just a tiny smidgen. It needs to go, well, and actually up here too. Tiny little bit. It's extra. Okay, so now we have completed the covering of our book page. Okay. All right. Now I think we can go ahead and glue down with art glitter glue using the sides. to glue it shut so we can be sure of the size of card that you want to put in there. Gluing down the middle is entirely optional. It will be sewn in to your signature, but I just prefer to go ahead and glue it down the middle now too, just so we can place the cards in it, the journal cards in it, without any incident. Okay. All right. There's that. Here's one journal card I kind of started. It's just a library card on the front, and on the back it's printed on cardstock, so I don't see the need. It's not white, it's on a parchment type cardstock paper. I don't see the need to add anything. It doesn't need anything for extra durability. It's going to hold up. And so to glue this on, we're going to use a little circle that I've cut in half and some art glitter glue, using our wonderful dust rag to sop up any extra glue that may be in there. And now this will fit right in here. It may even fit right in, nope, it's too big for that side, but it's just fine for there. But I want to add a little bit more decoration to it. Now this is the side that has the flowers on it. So I'm thinking I've got these, I think they're vellum stickers. I'm hoping that's what they are. And I guess I should find out for sure what these are. Let me see if I can get a corner up. I see people struggle with this all the time. I've never used stickers before. Okay, so for this, the clear part is on the back. So that means it's going to look like this if we put it down there. And I've got this little piece of ephemera that's from Your Creative Studios box that I received a while back. So I think I'm going to stick that and that on there. And I need one more thing. Let's see. I'll think about that. Put that over to the side. And now I have to find another card that might be able to be used. So I'm going to bring up my little folder of cards. Another ephemera that I've started. Does this fit in here? No, it will not. If I do something on the back, it'll fit. If I put a little, I might put that on the back there. Let's see. Most of these tags are going to prove to be too big. The ones that I have decorated already. And the ones that are in here. There's a small little card I can put in. Okay. I can add that. Maybe I'll put that on this side since it's smaller. And I'm not crazy about that. Okay, here's a little purple one with a butterfly. can stick that here in that pocket. Looks like it might even go with that paper. I don't know. I don't know. Seeing what's here. And my glue is being volcano-like. To open up. To release the pressure of the volcano, put the lid back on it, and then close it. And hopefully that will work. Okay, so I've got those as possible. Something I did, that's too big. That's not a good color. That's a possibility. Okay. That being said, I'm going to take one of these, put them down, and then I've got this container here that's labels and tags. And I think there are some tags in the bottom from Pink Monarch prints. And there are. I don't know if any of them are going to be small enough, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Just a little bit needs to be snipped off of there for it to go in sideways. Oh, and here's some small ones, which it seems like those are going to be too small. Is there anything in the middle? Let's see. This is actually taller than that, but it's wider. So I could cut the bottom off a little bit if there's one of these that I like, which I like that one. And this one goes in no problem. I want them that are those that are this size. I think that might be it for this size. If that's smaller. And this one's a little bit bigger. It's the same size as these. This is probably ones that I just overcut when I made them. So probably stick those in there. We'll see about these other ones later. Okay, so let's get to decorating these. I think I like the color. I don't know if I'm in the frame. Maybe not so much. Maybe the blue's a little contrasting or clashing with the purple. Okay, I like that color. Goes back in here. That. And let's see, we've got numbers. Look at some numbers and see if there are any numbers we might want to use. This one kind of goes with the flower color. I kind of like the 4 for 10 cents. Can't buy anything 4 for 10 cents now. Just snipping off the extra pieces. And I think I'm going to just use my pokey tool to make a hole. Yeah, that works fine. Okay. tool to the rescue. Ink them up, make sure I'm in frame. Oh, that was possible for the back. Make sure I'm in frame. Something escaped from its container. Got more to do. Okay. I'm inking up around the outside of this. The outside of this. Just doing it to get rid of the white edges. My poor fussy cutting skills. Okay. So now we've got, okay, so this has already been covered. I think I'm going to stick this down with a little tacky glue first. Get some of the extra raveling going. Gone. Oh, this isn't tacky. This is tacky glue. That's what I said it was. I think tacky glue will hold fabric. We'll find out. I know it doesn't hold it quickly. What I thought I was getting was my Fabri-Tac. So I'll just come in and apply a little Fabri-Tac down here at the bottom. A little bit at the top. Okay. All right. Now we're going to apply this with spreading it out a little with my silicone spreader so it doesn't hopefully leave lines. This is art glitter glue. Also art glitter glue, which this is just paper that I'm applying it to. And when you apply it to paper like that, it's not cardstock weight. A lot of times you see on the front side the scribbly marks that you make, which is why I like to use the silicone spreader to spread it out and avoid such markings. Fabric isn't real apparent in there. And then this is on a lightweight cardstock, so I think it's going to be okay on its own. Down with some pressure in my anti-static cloth that I love so much. Wipe off that, put the cap back on there, and like I said, you can barely see that I've got that fabric in there, but that's okay. I'll have to figure out a topper for it later. I can't really have a topper. We'll have to have a maybe a charm on the side, a little thing coming off with a charm on it of some kind. Okay, so I liked that. Then this is another piece that I like it, and it pretty much goes with it in terms of color. So I think with this, I'm just going to apply some stickles, if I can reach my stickles. Apply some stickles with the gold stickles to the middle. Very light little amount coming out from the center. Center of both flowers. And then I've got these diamond stickles I can apply to some of the petals and the flowers here and there, blue, to give it a little texture. Hello, it's Mary McIndoe from Mary Made a Journal, coming to you with the completion of my video I started last weekend where I was creating these pockets to go in a journal, and I was making them kind of like, I was trying to do, I guess, like a building up your stash kind of episode in a way, but what I failed to realize, I'm new to this YouTube, is that it's kind of hard to do that when you don't have a journal in mind that it's going into. So what I'm going to do is show you where, what I've done, and kind of leave it at that, with no more further decorations, because I just didn't know where to go with the decorations because I don't have a journal in mind for these. This is the first one that I did, and again, the way that I did it was I took a piece of paper and I folded it down, and then I folded it up, and then I folded it not in half, but just at a certain point, and gave myself, in this first one, I think it was 1/4 of an inch, which was way too big. This is the first one I tried doing, and it was completely off camera. But at any rate, this is the first one, and the way I plan on finishing it up, this lace over here has dragonflies in it, and I have a dragonfly cutout somewhere on my desk, which is eluding me at the moment. But I've got a dragonfly cutout that I'm going to put here to hold this down. And then I put the little sticker on there, time flies, just a little scrap of paper there. This is all one piece of paper, and I just continued it up here. Actually, this is just a kind of a trim, and I cut this part of the trim off for this one down here, and there's a piece of paper underneath it. But at any rate, I don't have a card in a journal card in this or this. This is, like I said, the first one, and I kind of just stopped after I got to a certain point because I wanted to go on camera doing it because this was my first prototype, and as I said, I found that because I don't have anything specific in mind, it's kind of hard to decorate. But this one is kind of a boho theme. It's the gypsy love song over here. I put, and then there was that time, and then I've got a watch there. And on the back, there's a playbill for a fortune teller, vocal selections from a fortune teller that's in a digital I have. It's from Hither and Jan. And everything will come to you in the perfect time was the quote I put on there. I thought that kind of went with the fortune telling. And the way this would work in your journal is you have a signature, and you are going to put this in it, and it'll be just one of the pages in your signature, and it'll be bound in. And on this side, you're going to have a pocket that opens and some space in here with some cards or tags to write on. And possibly on the back, I could add a pocket, don't know, or some additional decorations. And then in the back side of the journal, you have the other side that is here. All right. So that's how it's designed to go into the journal. And that's why making the two halves exactly equal isn't critical to the process. In fact, it's kind of nice to have different ones. This is the second one I did. I did this one off camera as well. And I didn't do a lot of decorating on this because this was about the time that I realized when I came to decorating this that I really don't know what I'm doing because I don't have a journal in mind. But I do have a couple journal cards in here. There's some fortune telling cards, and it's got some, I put some stickles on it. And then this is just a rose and a couple of stickers I put on the outside. And again, I have no idea if they'll end up staying in when I end up using it or they'll go into another project, but I was just putting cards in for the sake of putting cards in. And I had done that. I had made the cards before I had come on camera last time. And then on the back, I have a little flap here because this isn't journaling space, and I just made a little card with some decals. And then this is journaling space here on this one. So that's the second one I made, and again, this one would fit in the same way. You can put it in the middle, and it works a little bit better now because it's not quite as thick a spine, but it does give you a little bit of room to where that you're not pushing against it to try to get the cards in and out. I thought that was a good feature to have. And if I knew a way to make less than 1/8 of an inch, I guess I could scoot it over and try doing that on my next one. So this was my second prototype. And like I said, I did this one off camera as well. Now this is the one that you saw me struggling with on camera, although my camera did shut off abruptly in the middle of filming. So I don't know where I was. I can't remember where I was when the camera gave out. But what I've decided to do is just to show you, just to finish up the video, show you what I've done so far and let you know that these are just going in my collection of future ephemera to be used. I think we went over how we did these different things. On this card, the only thing I changed, well, again, I don't know where the video cut off, but I had added some stickles over here because I have a piece of fabric under there, but you really can't see it. And I wanted to have 5 elements. And then this has 3 elements on it. It has a rose, it's kind of a washi rose, a little piece that I've stamped with the term Magic Mood. It's a library card, obviously, reproduction. And then for the clasp on this, I've got simply a circle punch that I cut in half and glued down. The decoration on this part is a butterfly, and it's kind of a 3-tiered butterfly. It's got some stickles on it and some glossy accents. And I don't know that I'm necessarily going to put anything to try to keep that closed. And my saying that I put on this was, try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. And then on the inside, the best things take time. On the other side, I stamped a piece of cardstock that said, see you there, January 31st, 1929. It's just a little stamp that I had in my collection and thought it would go. And then on the inside of this, I have a journal or a tag that needs to have its some kind of a tab put on it, probably on the side because of the way the pocket's working. It's also got a playing card, a distressed old playing card, and then it's got this little cabbage patch bell with a flower coming out of it that I attached with a piece of lace here on the side. I'm probably going to do something like that with whatever ends up in this pocket. Then this was a little Tim Holtz die cut thing that said souvenir views, and it was an open window, and I, from Hither and Yon, was able to take a butterfly and set it inside of the window. And then just a couple little gadgets over there. On the back, I put tea or copy dyed paper and just a little sticker that says noted. Again, more decorations and more specific journaling cards. Like, these journaling cards are probably not going to be what stays with it. It depends upon where I end up using it. But again, the way this will work, we can go into a different section of the book. It'll be in the signature. And this will be what you see to begin with, is the noted. Sorry, I'm a little off camera there. And you have the floral and the butterfly, a couple journal cards or tags. Flip back to the end of the journal and you have the other half, which has a couple of journaling tags and some journaling space on the back. And again, this is something that will change when I ultimately figure out what journal it's going into. That was a learning thing for me as far as YouTube went, that when you don't have a specific project in mind, I was getting too involved in this one in particular. This is the one I was doing on camera. This one in particular with trying to decorate it up, and I decorated it up, but I have no idea if that's going to fit into a future journal or not. So it may be, just something that goes out in Happy Mail or something in the future. Who knows? But this is the second one I had done. And like I said, it was after the camera went off and I started trying to think of things to add to this that I realized I really don't know what to add to this because I don't know where it's going to end up. So those are my 3 little journaling double pockets that I created based upon the Roxy creation Monday challenge that she did a couple weeks ago. I thank you for being with me. I hope that you get something out of this video, and I wish you all a very pleasant rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching.